time to start reassembling this. So I got a new tire for the bobbin winder, so I'll pop that on really quick there. It's black, so it doesn't match the machine. The old tire was, you know, custom color white. Fresh light bulb will stick in there before we forget about it. And then let's put the faceplate back on and start reassembling everything. So very stylish little cover here for the stitch length. Think of all the features on this machine. This detail, and then the striping on the front cover over the needle bar are my favorite two design details. I don't want these screws to be super tight, but they do have to be tightened down because the plastic is what pushes that piece of trim in place. So if you don't tighten them down, then the machine won't, this trim won't be in place, which is an unfortunate design feature, but that is what it is. So just set our top on, and it's got two different length bolts. Pretty sure the front one is was the short one. And I say front because I talk about the head of the machine as the front end. But yep, that caught a few threads, and then this long one. That is a lot of thread for this long one, but it seems to have room, so, you know, holding this cover on is not a structural thing. It just needs to be in place. So if those are fitting and they don't feel like they're hitting anything, then I will call that successful. rotate around and put the hand wheel on, put a drop of oil on the shaft there. Once I had this oiled and freed up, this machine spins freely without the hand wheel on. So that's a nice thing. And then slip the belt on and get our clutch washer in place. I think I got that. Yeah, it's not. It is working where I can free this and it just spins. Okay. Tighten this and the mechanism goes, so that must be the right spot. I don't need to open that up and reverse that washer. And we completely loosened the motor, and just put a little bit of pressure there and tighten up our mounting bolt here. And anybody who owns a machine, you'll recognize this mounting bracket setup and how this motor and mounting bracket is just a very generic feature of a lot of machines. This one has a cover cast into it to cover the motor and make it look a little neater, but it's the same motor that hangs off the back of any number of machines that you might own or recognize. And that's the thing about these post-war Japanese machines. They were just making them for whoever, and they made them in vast quantities, and they're all good machines, but it's very hard to get parts because they were not keeping records for what they made and who they made them for, and so there isn't a good cross-reference for which parts are going to fit exactly your model. You just have to be able to take a look at them and get something similar and check what fits. And that, you know, continues to this day. The Kenmore that I did a while ago on the channel didn't have any listed replacement parts that I needed, but when I got a generic or similar race, it had a hole like this, and I just had to modify it a little bit to get it to work properly with the machine. So, alright. Remember these spool pins, one of these is very is damaged and was wobbling because the thread on it is the top end thread is damaged and doesn't engage with the thin couple threads in this plate anymore. So yeah, that's this thread, or this one. I was out and discovered that, and went looking, and I found out that it's a 1032. Yeah, 1030, size 1032, which is an American thread size. And then seem to fit on these, which is odd, but is that fitting? No. I checked these at the store and checked this in the fit thing, but these are not. Did I mix the packages up and grab the wrong ones? We'll have to investigate that. I thought these were the nuts that I grabbed for this machine, but apparently they are not. Anyhow, my plan was to just put a nut on the back side here to make these fit, but that is not working, and I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I did find in the stuff the felts that came with the machine. Those are actually an important feature of many machines. The felt provides just a little bit of friction on the spool to keep it from spinning wildly when your thread gets yanked, and that can help the machine operate better if the spool feeds properly. So don't if you have your felts, you can always try putting them on, and if you're missing your felts and having small issues, you can always check. Now, if replacing the felts helps with your stitching, so here's the okay. Flat there. I'm gonna put this set screw on the flat, tighten that down. All right. Tighten our second set screw. There. Feels nice. And then our width knob has a flat on it, and I actually am going to turn it by hand, use my width lock knob that is now installed, and then the flat is facing down so I can get my screw in there. Or my screwdriver in on that side. Then get our second set screw in place. Gently turn that for better access. And now, while you're sewing, if you really want to shift to zigzag, you can pull this over and let it slide, or you can set your width, and the width lock is working. If you have one of these machines, part of the reason this knob was jammed is if you have your lock set, you shouldn't push this knob to get your stitch back to 0. You should unlock it and let it spring back. Because if you push on this knob to force that against this lock, I think that's part of why that piece was bent on the inside. So now, I was not paying attention to which of these 2 set screws in our buttonhole knob was on this flat. So here, this doesn't line up. This flat here doesn't line up with the arrow on the top here. So I'm going to guess that this is the correct one, because with this position on the flat, it lines our N up to the flat, and that makes sense as an alignment. So, and there is an arrow on the top of the machine that you should rotate this knob one direction only. So make sure that I try to do that. And then I did notice while I was inspecting this machine that it's got quick and easy replacement on the needle plate because it's held in by the slide here, so you just slide and it pops out, and then it tabs in there, so that's very convenient. And I'm actually gonna just tip this up since we're underneath here, and should have used the Dremel to polish up some spots under here too, because that corrosion and stuff was everywhere, that residue. But got that popped back together. This is the bobbin thread that was in the machine. Bobbin thread is usually pretty easy to deal with, so it's not under as much strain as the top thread. So I'm going to just throw this and of course letting it this nice and even here. Tilt it up like that, the bobbin wants to pop out of the case. and get in the way while you're trying to hook the... Oh. There. And get a drop of oil behind our hook there. Now, the moment of truth. I've not okay, that's the motor. Not plugged this in. So we know the motor works and the lamp is functional. So let's turn the light on. We'll watch here. Our adjustment for front to back stitch. The reverse button made those go the other way. Drop and up on the feet. Now, there's our stitch width and the lock. So the clutch works, and we push our button winder or bobbin winder. All right, we are ready to do some test stitching with this. Although first, remember to put the presser foot back on.